Iran just launched what the IRGC is calling its most intense and heaviest operation since the first missile left the ground 12 days ago. 3 hours of continuous missile launches, 3 full hours. Khorramshahr ballistic missiles screaming across the sky toward Tel Aviv, rocket trails visible over Netanya, air raid sirens going off simultaneously in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and Haifa. Every major population center in Israel on alert at the same time, all at once, in the middle of the night. They told you Iran would be finished in 72 hours. It's been 12 days. Iran is still firing, still hitting, and tonight, right now, they just raised the ceiling again. Before we go further, subscribe and like this video. The algorithm buries what you're about to hear. Now let's get into everything that has happened today and why it matters more than anything the mainstream channels are telling you. Let's start with tonight's operation, because the scale of it needs to be understood properly. The IRGC didn't just launch another volley of missiles. They launched their single largest wave of the entire war. 3 hours of sustained fire, multiple missile types confirmed in the air simultaneously. Among them, the Khorramshahr, Iran's most powerful medium-range ballistic missile, the weapon that carries a 1,500-kilogram warhead and opens at altitude to scatter sub-munitions across a 500-meter radius, turning entire city blocks into kill zones. Rocket trails were photographed and filmed, lighting up the sky over Netanya on the Israeli coast. Israel's air defense systems engaged, but as we have seen night after night in this war, engaging and stopping are two very different things. And while the missiles were in the air over Israel, Iran simultaneously hit the Gulf. The UAE Ministry of Defense issued an urgent public warning to residents early this morning. Sirens were sounding in Bahrain. 4 people were injured as drones came down at Dubai International Airport, right beside the active runway. Bahrain's Civil Aviation Authority scrambled to reposition aircraft to alternative airports to protect them. The entire Gulf, the commercial heartbeat of the Arab world, was on a war footing tonight because of Iranian strikes. Let that sink in. Iran, under 12 consecutive days of the most intense American and Israeli bombing campaign in the history of the Middle East, is simultaneously hitting Israel, the Gulf, and American bases across the region, all in the same night, all at once, still. Now let's rewind and give you the full picture of how we got here, because the mainstream channels have been lying about the scoreboard since day one. On February 28th, the United States and Israel launched what they called Operation Epic Fury. In the first 12 hours alone, they carried out 900 strikes on Iranian targets. In the first day, 200 Israeli jets hit nearly 500 targets inside Iran. The supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, was assassinated in the opening strike. His daughter, son-in-law, grandchild, and daughter-in-law were also killed. Iran's parliament was hit while lawmakers were inside. The state broadcaster was bombed mid-broadcast. Over 6,668 civilian locations have now been confirmed struck by U.S.-Israeli forces. The World Health Organization confirmed at least 13 Iranian healthcare facilities destroyed, hospitals, clinics, medical workers, dead. This is what they launched, and here is what Iran did in response. Not threats, not statements, missiles, aimed at Israel, at American bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and across the region. In the first wave alone, Iran fired 90 ballistic missiles at Israel. The next day, 65 more, then 25, then 20. The numbers per wave dropped, yes, but the weapons themselves got bigger, heavier, and more precise with every passing day. Iran was not running out. Iran was rationing, upgrading, and recalibrating. By March 5th, an Iranian military source confirmed to Fars news agency that Iran had launched over 500 ballistic and cruise missiles and nearly 2,000 drones since the war began. 40% of that firepower was aimed at Israel, 60% at American positions across the region. 27 U.S. military bases hit. American forces attacked in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Iraq. Everywhere they have a footprint, Iran has reached it. And the Americans have not escaped cleanly. 8 U.S. soldiers have now been confirmed killed. 140 more are wounded. The U.S. embassy in Kuwait was struck by an Iranian missile and shut down. The Pentagon admitted it spent $5 billion in munitions in just the first 2 days of combat. $5 billion in 2 days. Trump stood up and called it a short-term excursion. Let's talk about what Iran's campaign has done to the wider world, because this is where the real war is being won and lost, not in the skies over Tel Aviv, but in the global economy. The Strait of Hormuz, 1/5 of all the world's oil flows through that narrow passage every single day. Since the first day of this war, Iran has been attacking commercial shipping in the strait and in the Gulf of Oman. An Iranian frigate was sunk by a U.S. submarine near Sri Lanka. 87 bodies have been recovered from the wreckage. In response, Iran's IRGC told ships that passage through the Strait of Hormuz is not allowed. Not a warning, a declaration. Tanker operators are refusing to enter. Insurance companies are refusing to cover ships that try. The strait is functionally closed. Oil has crossed $115 a barrel, and it is still climbing. Qatar Airways grounded all flights. Bahrain's Civil Aviation Authority repositioned its entire commercial aircraft fleet. Dubai, the financial capital of the Arab world, has had drones intercepted over its skyline on multiple nights now. The Fairmont Palm Hotel, one of the most recognizable buildings in Dubai, was hit by Iranian strike debris. The Burj Al Arab, the iconic sail-shaped tower on the Dubai waterfront, had fires burning on its facade from interception shrapnel raining down from above. This is not a regional skirmish. This is a war reshaping the global economy in real time, and Iran is holding the pressure valve on the world's energy supply. Now let's talk about what is happening on the Lebanese front, because Hezbollah re-entering this war changes the entire calculation for Israel. On March 2nd, 2 days into the conflict, Hezbollah fired its first rockets and missiles into northern Israel, in retaliation, they said, for the killing of Khamenei. Since then, the fighting in Lebanon has never stopped. Today, Israeli airstrikes hit central Beirut, killing 4 people in an apartment building. The IDF issued a mass evacuation order for all of Beirut's southern suburbs, the same language they used before the heaviest bombardment phases of previous Lebanon campaigns. Israeli ground troops have now crossed into southern Lebanon. UN peacekeepers confirmed ground combat. 700,000 people have already been displaced inside Lebanon. In response, Israel moved the Golani Brigade, one of its most elite infantry units, from the southern command to the northern command to reinforce the Lebanese front. And Hezbollah isn't just firing rockets anymore. They fired directly at Tel Aviv today. 16 people were injured. A daycare center was damaged. In the middle of a city that is already flinching every night from Iranian ballistic missiles, Hezbollah is adding a second front of rockets from the north. Israel is now fighting on 2 fronts simultaneously, Iran from the east, Hezbollah from the north, and the Islamic resistance in Iraq from the northeast, which has separately claimed 67 drone and missile attacks on U.S. and regional targets since the war started. Meanwhile, what is happening inside Washington? Congressional Democrats are calling for public hearings into a war that was never authorized by Congress. Congress hasn't officially declared war since World War II. Trump launched this campaign without a vote, without authorization and without any public legal justification for striking a sovereign nation that by multiple accounts had not attacked the United States. Multiple senior U.S. officials privately told congressional staffers that Iran had no plans whatsoever to strike American forces unless attacked first. The war was built on a threat that the intelligence community itself said did not exist. And now 8 Americans are dead, 140 of them are wounded. The U.S. Embassy in Kuwait was struck by an Iranian missile and shut down. The Pentagon admitted it spent $5 billion in munitions in just the first 2 days of combat. $5 billion in 2 days. Trump stood up and called it a short-term excursion. Inside Iran, something remarkable is happening that no Western channel is showing you. As the bombs fall on Tehran, explosions so powerful that residents said it was impossible to sleep, impossible even to stay indoors. Hundreds of thousands of Iranians have been rallying in the streets for Mojtaba Khamenei, the new supreme leader elected on March 8th. Not hiding, not fleeing, rallying in the streets in the middle of the heaviest bombardment of the war. Iran's internet has been blacked out for 12 days straight.